Okay, let me get my. I'm still prepping, but let me get my computer real quick. I have to send everybody the link. Okay. That's gonna be loud. Okay. when your boyfriend is calling you? Hold on. Yeah, what? I bought food already. I didn't know you were gonna buy food. Did you forget I'm doing the workshop today? Yeah, I'm starting at 5:15 just to give everybody like time to get in. It's about to be 5. So stupid. Bye. My boyfriend is stupid. Okay. He's actually very smart. I'm just lying. So yeah, we're starting at 5:15 just to give everybody enough time. And that way I could just drink my juice real quick. But I'm really excited. Super hot in this room right now though, because I have so many candles going, so it's like really hot, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh. So we're gonna get started really soon. I'm just giving everybody enough time to get in. And my throat's really big because I washed it today. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just like these. Hello, everybody who's joining in. We're gonna get started shortly. I'm just waiting for everybody to like come in. But I guess we could start doing like the mini intro. So I really wanted to do this workshop because I feel like, I mean, well, this eclipse for one is like the longest in like a century. It's like the longest eclipse in a century because it's lasting the longest. And I just think the energy is really cool. The fact that it lands in Aquarius is a really big deal, because Aquarius is so futuristic and so modern and so wanting things to be like upgraded and everything. So when we deal with Aquarius energy, even though Mars is playing a huge role in today's day, really, when we deal with Aquarius energy, it has to do with really allowing ourselves to see how society, how our friends, how ourselves, how we could better be treated, how we could better be upgraded, how we can do things in a way that makes more sense. Because Aquarius will look at a situation and would look at you and be like, why don't you do this though? It's a very like, hey, you know, you're kind of stuck in an old time, you might want to upgrade it, upgrade this, upgrade your thinking, upgrade your routine, upgrade your way of handling situations. There's like so many different ways that Aquarius energy takes like its course on people. But and there's levels. There's like the shadow side of an Aquarius, which is not one of my favorite things in the world, but it's easier to tell when you have shadow Aquarius energy in a person, because in many ways they just get so detached that they forget to see everything. So they get very lost in the sauce sometimes, and just focus on the like tunnel vision, focus on one thing instead of the whole scope, which is what Aquarius is supposed to do. Aquarius energy, like archetype in people, are supposed to focus on the wholeness of the thing and seeing things from an outside perspective, seeing the whole in the outside perspective. So when you have Aquarius is a tunnel vision into one thing, it gets really toxic really quickly, because then they just get really stubborn in their fixed nature, and then they think they're right, and it's like it's a whole another thing. But dealing with that Aquarius energy, I've seen so many people, because there's so many planets on retrogrades right now. There's so many people that have been. I'm sorry, I bought this, just so we're all clear, I bought this rocking chair at a thrift store, and I'm in love with it, so I'm just gonna be rocking this whole time. So bringing it back. So with these retrogrades, everybody is like, I feel like every time I go on Twitter or go on Instagram, there's somebody dying from the goddamn retrogrades, and I'm just like, yo, I'm literally been cruising. I'm fine, I'm chilling. I mean, unless the workshop goes down for some reason, then I know it's like, oh, Mercury or whatever, but everything's been fine. I think I have been cruising through this energy. For me, my focus has been mainly past life work. That's what I've been working towards, like, not intentionally, but it just kind of sort of happens. I've been doing a lot of past life work, and I haven't been caught up in the I guess what I would say in this lifetime stuff that I have to heal, but more in past lifetime stuff that I had to heal and address, which retrogrades are a wonderful time to do, and to kind of work through that energy, and really give yourself the space to heal. That's why it's so great. So right now, when everybody's like freaking out, like everything's going wrong and everything's like all this stuff, I literally just roll my eyes, because there's so many people out there in the spiritual community that literally do astrology propaganda on specific transits, specific placements, specific things. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and I'm just like, why are you making people scared of the energy that's already going to happen anyway? It's like the best thing you can do is work with it, and see if you understand the energy, then you can more easily work with it. And it's not something that's like harder to do. It's not going to kill you. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. I feel like a lot of people, the expectation when you're born, when you're small, is that, oh my God, your life is going to be great. And like, I guess not that your life is going to be great, but it's the expectation of having a good life and a good time all the time that really, as you grow up, it really feels like it was a lie. And so we strive to be good and be great all the time. So then by the time where all this other stuff in life is happening, and there's so much like negative people or negative things, and you're put in situations where you're like being pushed to grow, you're like, damn, why does life so hard? Why is life like this? Why does it have to be so difficult? Like, why do I have to get put in this situation? Why did I have to get cheated on by this person? Why did it, like, there's always situations where you'll get placed, and it's like, why am I doing this? Why do I need to learn this lesson? Why is it necessary for me to go through this? And it's crazy, because if you look at, like, historically speaking, the way societies handled spiritual work and your life was really through making not systematically imposing you to do things that weren't going to better you, but telling you, hey, we're doing this as a society, this is how we're doing, this is how we feel like we've connect to source in whatever way, whether that is a specific religion or whatnot. In the current time that we're in, everything seems to be a lot more toxic than it needs to be, and we forgot a lot of our values that we used to value before as a society, like taking care of nature. There's like so many different civilizations that worshipped nature, worshipped animals, like worshipped just them being alive, them existing, and the lessons that you learn from animals just being there. And so because the lessons got more, I want to say, kind of diluted, they got more diluted and also more concentrated in ways, because we pushed it so far to the extreme, and we try to keep a specific order or of how our lives is supposed to be ran, how society needs to be ran, how we need to interact with people. All of these things, it just completely either got diluted or concentrated. There's some people that just want to be free and want to, like, be like, I just want to express myself. I just want to experience nature. I want to like, and that's always been me. I've always like wanted to travel and wanted to experience things and just like wanted to live in that energy, because I feel like there's a beautiful energy to just be one with the earth. And then there's others who are just like, no, you can't do this specifically. Like you can't. I believe that you shouldn't have abortions. I believe that you shouldn't do this. I believe that you shouldn't do that. And then all of these beliefs then get imposed on people who don't want to have this, and who want to be more open, more in connection to something, in connection to what they feel is divine, even if it's themselves, because we're all divine. So there is that, and energetically speaking, we're all divine, and we should all know how to work with our own energy and to heal ourselves and all that. But then the way life is set up systematically is like, no, you're systematically, you need to do this every day, wake up, go to work, this, eat when we tell you to, and then do all this stuff. And then by the time you really get worn out, because this always happens, people, like, it gets to the point where you'll get worn out, you'll hate the state of your lives, and then we'll start literally creating issues with ourselves. And the way those issues come about is literally, if you study psychology at any point, even if it was in college for a certain point or whatnot, then you'll know quite easily how many mental illnesses we have created. Even in the NFL, if you look at CTE and the whole hitting your head, that's another thing that we created that didn't exist before. We have gone to the point where we have created our own diseases because we just want to be disconnected at some point. And it doesn't. Babe, don't put that fan on. You could put that one on, but that was too loud. Sorry, my boyfriend just came. I'm gonna open the window real quick. Hold on. Okay, so continuing my talk. So like I was saying, so when it comes to something that's systematic versus being at one with energy, it gets disconnected. And it's like, hey, if you want to be at any way spiritual, you have to follow our path of spirituality versus, hey, we feel all these things and I need an outlet to process it. And because spirituality is not just religion, it's not just one thing, and I tell my boyfriend this all the time, it's not just this one thing. It includes so many different things, so many cultures, so many different ways of doing similar things and different ways of doing different things as well. So when you get put in the position where you're like, okay, I bought a crystal yesterday and it just feels good when I hold it. It could be as simple as that. That could be you being spiritual. To others, that might seem like a bad thing, and others might want you to impose you not doing that. And then this is exactly why that's wrong, because there is no freedom to evolve, and that is what Aquarius rules. Aquarius rules not only technology, but how we ourselves can see things how collectively we come together to create something, but also how we continue to evolve from it. There are levels to things, and I've spoken about this in my generational videos, so if you want more information on that, it's on my YouTube. But I've spoken about this with the generational videos, especially because we have Uranus in Capricorn, and it's not necessarily the funnest thing to have to readdress, and having to go back and literally address our foundations, are the things that we're so solid on. And I mention this all the time because there's like studies out there now that are like, millennials are not going to church anymore. And I'm just like, yeah, why are we gonna go to church? Pluto and Scorpio is like, why can't we try this other stuff that seems, why is yoga bad? Like, what? There's questions that are getting asked now, and there's like a more openness to, on a generational level, to trying something that might feel good, to being, having that freedom that society does not give you automatically, because everything is so systematic and so like, no, we're gonna stay in this exact same place, which is not, it's just not healthy. It's not a healthy way of thinking. It's not a healthy way of wanting to really be around others, because what this energy creates is other people having their own issues. But again, going back to what I said, that we create our own mental illnesses, our own problems, all of that, like, then you'll just have people around you who will have these separate issues, if not the same ones, and you'll just have that energy circulating around you all the time. And I live in New York City, so everything is super energetic wise. Like, when I walk outside, I know what I'm signing up for. Like, there are levels. I remember when I went on the retreat to Grenada in March, when I came back, the energy was just so like, it was like grinding on the sidewalk. That's how I felt. Like, I just felt like it was just like, it just felt really weird, because there's a density to it. If you never came to New York City before, you might have just fallen in love with the aspects of New York City that are appealing, but it's very touristy. It's not, New York doesn't value history, and I say this all the time, we destroy it. We built new things on it, and we just forget all the things, and just try to bring more people in, try to film more movies, whatever the case may be. But energetically speaking, we don't do anything to better ourselves. There's certain pockets in New York that take time, and certain pockets in the country that take time to like be like, hey, you know, we want to connect with this. We know, like, that's why New Orleans is known for what they're known, because there is a huge disconnect between source and society. And I'm not talking about just religion, because again, religion can be very restrictive, and some people need religion. I'm not knocking it, because there's some people that do need it. However, when we start imposing it on others who quite clearly do not want anything to do with it, then it gets toxic. Somebody was calling for some reason. Sorry about that. So, like I was saying, I can't remember what I was saying, so I'm gonna go to my next point. So, when it comes to us as a society, like before, civilizations used to understand to work with energy, to heal with energy. If you look at a lot of the temples that were built at the time, they were built to emit a certain frequency, whether it was sound or whatever. When you went inside, it would make you feel a certain way. There was a different vibration inside the building because it was created in that way. So, and actually cathedrals do this as well. If you go inside these gigantic Catholic churches and there's an orchestra playing, the tallness of the building will actually produce, like, the sound will be, the way it will expand will create a vibration, so you actually feel something when you're in there. Like, they know about sound too, which is like hilarious, but it's that's really what it is, like working with energy and working with your vibration and understanding your vibration around other people, understanding your other people's vibrations as well. Because once you start opening yourself up energetically, and you're not letting yourself stay like in a toxic place energetically, because of the way society's set up, where we literally have created so many mental illnesses, so many different things, then you're like more aware, and then you're like, wait, why is this way? You start questioning things. You start saying, listen, this is not the right way. This is not what I want to do. This doesn't feel good. And then when you're, because people will get depressed, but then when they realize after that, hey, you know what, this doesn't feel good, can we just do something different about it? When it starts getting spiritual and then you start working with chakras and stuff, you'll kind of come to the point where you're like, okay, your mind, your head, your brain, the thing that rules all the things, basically. When we're looking at Aquarius energy, Uranus rules the crown chakra. So when we're working with your mind, your brain, and you're seeing that you have certain illnesses, like whether it's mental anxiety, whatever the case may be, your crown chakra is imbalanced. And this imbalance comes from a freedom that is not here. So we need to have a mental freedom, whether it's creative freedom. This is why I have a pet peeve with anyone that tries to oppress the creativity of Pisces, because Pisces naturally need to be out there and just let themselves paint, draw, do whatever they need to do to have this joy. They need to express themselves. There's literally signs that need to be like shining, besides Leo, you know, because we're in Leo season now. But besides Leo, there's literally signs that need to be shining. That's what they need to do. They need the space to do it. They need to have this expression, because when you have a block of expression, then you are not free. Then you cannot free your mind if you're constantly being put in the position where you have to block it and restrict it. And that's what society does. It really puts a, these are the issues at hand. This is what we're putting on the table. This is what I need you to worry about. Because that's literally what society says to you. It's like, okay, this is what you need to worry about. You need to worry about paying bills. You need to worry about going to work in the morning. You need to worry about the lunch you're going to eat. You need to make sure you take your lunch. I don't care what you eat. I don't care if you die during that time. I just need you to do it and then come back to work. There's a level of, there's no emotions there. There's no fairness. There's no understanding. There is no, it's just so much oppression that comes from it. And then when you oppress your brain so bad, even though a lot of people will always say, oh, you know, they'll act out, they'll be present in whatever the case may be, but their brain is like free and all this stuff. But being blocked off externally will manifest internally. So when you have a blockage in your crown, not only are you spiritually blocked, but then your other chakras are like a hot mess. And so with Aquarius and Uranus ruling that crown chakra, and that need to connect, that need to meditate, because if you look at this is why we're starting off with affirmation, then a meditation, because we need to set the intentions verbally. It needs to be with words. Like Aquarius is an air sign, so we need to make sure that we are using air, and because we can speak our will and be more clear with it, which is really what we should all be doing anyway, because we all have all this power, but it gets dimmed down because it gets oppressed by people who don't want you to use it. And so when we stay stuck in this place, it becomes a hot mess, and we're continuing the cycle, and then we can continue to create more and more mental illnesses, more and more physical illnesses. We end up eating like shit. We end up doing all the things that we're not supposed to be doing, and then we end up physically manifesting diseases, mental illnesses, wounds, trauma, all the things. So with Aquarius energy, like this eclipse is really saying, hey, listen, I need you to pull it back. I need you to, because what the moon does when it's in a sign, it says, I'm giving you this sign's power. How are you going to use it? So when you have Aquarius specifically, it's asking you to look around, look at everything that's going on, and be clear on how you feel like it should be. Be clear on how you want to be present. Be clear on your opinions, your views, your energy, how you will be a part of a community in a society that values oppressing others energetically, oppressing others physically. How are you going to react to that? And so Aquarius is completely about freedom, because it wants to expand the barriers, expand the idea that we can't be better. And so what it's asking you to do, like this eclipse, well, for one thing, it's definitely asking us to get angry, because Mars is playing a huge role within this eclipse. And Mars is like, it's like built up. That's what it feels like. it's like build up. Like, I am so tired of waking up every day and finding another person either called the police on someone or got shot or whatever the case. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm energetically exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted from looking at it. And so it really builds up on that anger. It's like, how much longer are we going to keep doing the same thing? And on a societal level, on a government level, there's a lot of stuff that will be coming out very soon because some people will be getting impeached. That I will say, that I do know. But there are still levels of, okay, well, let's say we impeach this dude. Who else are we going to put up there? Are we going to stay continuously in this continuous system of nonsense, or are we going to ask for better? And so this is what, in many ways, what this workshop is about. I personally want you guys to customize it as per what you guys need at this time, because there's some people that are going to want to focus more on their smaller groups. So, like, for example, you can use Aquarius energy to work on your current community. You can use it to work on, like, if you have some friends that you've been having disagreements with, or you needed to detach and you're using this Aquarius energy to detach, that's totally cool too. Use it as far as whatever you want to, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to the uncrossing spell work that we're going to do. But it's for your own release. There is a breaking point when it comes to Aquarius where you're just like, this is not right, and this is my opinion on it, period. And that's what I'm going to put out there. And so this is what we're going to do with our spell work. We're going to set the intention, like, I'm not okay with this, I'm not okay with that. We're going to do that, and then we're going to keep it moving. So for the meditation, which we're going to start with, the meditation, I am not going to have music playing, but if you guys want to have music playing, that is totally fine. I didn't want to have music playing just in case you guys wanted to customize it yourselves or whatnot. So if you guys want to go ahead and put on some meditation music, feel free. It's a 30-minute meditation, and it's going to start in a couple minutes. But I'm going to explain what I'm using first. So we're going to be using 2 different crystals. If you don't have these 2 crystals, or if you don't have a type of these 2 crystals, you can use 2 clear quartz crystal, or you don't have to use any at all. That's really fine. So I'm going to be using an amethyst crystal and a garnet crystal. And this is one of my favorite meditations. I do this one regularly. It's usually either every other day or mostly every day, because it's a huge, like, powerful meditation. And the reason why I do it this way is because this is a grounding stone, and this focuses, I mean, this is a third eye stone, but it helps with unlocking that crown space. So if you've been having issues working with your chakras, if you've been having issues grounding, if you have been having issues with your other chakras, but also using the crown, then these, like, working with this type of technique would actually help a lot, because you'll be holding one in your hand, and one hand will be grounding you, and then the other one will be going up. However, when you're meditating with this, when you have it on both hands, it turns into a pyramid, like a triangle. It goes from third eye, hand to other hand, like that. So the power gets concentrated, like the energy gets concentrated in that space. And so it helps clear this going up. So those are the 2 that I'm going to be using. If you guys want to use any other crystal, that is totally fine. If you're using a clear quartz crystal, you need to set the intention for what each crystal is going to do beforehand, because clear quartz works with any chakra, and it could take the properties of what other crystals do, which is why it's like bomb.com. So I have one on I put it on earlier. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the crystal in your hands, and you're going to say, if you want to say it's a specific crystal, like if you want to say it's a garnet crystal, whatever it is, you can say that, or you can say, this is my grounding stone, and then continue to set the intention for that. So you say, this is my grounding stone. With the stone, I'm connected to the earth. With the stone, I'm grounded. So you say that how many times you feel like you need to, and then for the next one, you can say, this is my crown stone. With this crystal, I unlock the space. So you're setting the intention early for that. So it will help with that energy and keeping it flowing. So that's if you don't have these two crystals, or if you're using another grounding crystal, that's great. If you're using tiger's eye, that's great. If you're using lapis lazuli, that's great. I mean, I have crystals in my hands as well. And this is why, and this is my second trick. I was like about to go into this. Because I have two bracelets on, I usually have my garnet on one hand and my lapis on my hand. This works with my top 3 chakras. This one is a grounding stone. So I will put the crystals, so I'll put the amethyst on the one that it's grounding, and then I'll put the grounding on the one that is higher up. And the reason why I do this is because I want the energy to be balanced. So if you do have something in your hand, make sure that you're not putting too much grounding in one hand and then too much higher up in the other, because then it becomes imbalanced. The reason why I do it this way is because it feels way more balanced, because this still has energy as well, so it's just passing through. I also have jade. You guys don't need to have this. I always have this on. This is just more for my heart space, because I work with, like, I've been doing a lot of heart healing for the past for a while now. So that's just going over what we're gonna do as far as the crystals go. And let me see if you guys said anything. Oh, I'm checking your comments. Give me a second. Hey, Kristen. Is amethyst a grounding stone, or better for the top 3? It's better for the top 3 chakras. So amethyst is amazing to work with for the top 3 chakras, because it's really good for third eye. That's what it's really good for. But if you have a blocked third eye, and you try to use a crown stone, it's not going to work that well, because you have this blocked. You have to have this open before you can get up here. That's kind of how it goes. So this one really would help for that third eye, but also the crown, because it helps you ease into the energy. Let's see. Okay, sweet. If you guys have any more questions, let me know before we start. I'm so glad Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Oh, the girls are coming soon. I know they were getting out of work. They were like, oh, I'm gonna get. Actually, they just sent me a text. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, they should be coming soon. But we're gonna start without them a little bit. So this is going to be a guided meditation, and during the meditation, I'm also going to be doing distant Reiki. So I just want to be clear on this before I do it. Distant Reiki is not supposed to be, okay, so as a Reiki practitioner, I'm not supposed to show you guys the symbols of Reiki. I'm just not supposed to. It's a secret, basically. You have to take the course to get it attuned and then know what the symbols are. So because of this, I am going to do the symbols in my head, and I'm going to project to the screen, and that is how I'm going to pass over the healing energy to you. So I'm going to be doing the guided meditation for 30 minutes. I'm going to set the timer, so we're good on that. And then we're going to, hold on. Oh no, we're going to do the energetic affirmation first. That I almost forgot. So let's do that first. So, because I have it written on here. And then we're going to go into it. So we're going to say this 7 times. And the reason why I wanted to do an energetic release affirmation is I want to set the intention for what we're doing, so we're like all clear. So we're going to say this 7 times, so you guys to repeat after me after each sentence. And then we'll start on the meditation. So, I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. And this is the last one. I release myself from social bonds that are outdated. I release myself from that which does not serve me. I send healing and love to my sisters who need it. I send healing and love to my brothers who need it. I am pure light. I am divine healing. So that is the affirmation for the workshop. And it should be clear why. Freedom and an energetic release. So we're going to get into the guided meditation. I'm just going to set the timer. Okay. So I want you guys to take whatever crystal you guys want into one hand, your grounding crystal into one hand, and your crowning crystal in the other hand. You're going to close your eyes, and you're just going to sit. Keep your breath steady. Any thoughts that come, just let them go. Pay attention to what area of your body is energetically calling you right now. And picture a white light in that space. You're going to picture this white light circulating and slowly that light is expanding. This light that's circulating, it starts going down your tailbone. And it wants to continue to expand. So it starts coming out of your tailbone and into the ground. light penetrates the ground. It's going deeper and deeper into the earth. It keeps going deeper and deeper until it hits the core. And once it touches the core, it's sending light back into you. And you continue to expand that white light as it circulates. This light then starts traveling across your body. It starts in your root. And the light turns red. This red light continues to circulate. The color keeps getting redder and brighter. The color then shoots up to your sacral chakra. It's a deep orange, and it keeps circulating. As it circulates, it gets brighter. As it's expanding, it goes into your next chakra, your solar plexus. And this orange light turns yellow. This yellow light feels like peace. And it's getting so bright now that it's expanding. And as it expands, it goes into the next chakra, your heart space. And in your heart space, you see a tunnel. You start walking into it. the end of the tunnel, there's a light. You're getting closer and closer to the end. You walk out of the tunnel and you see a house. You walk off the lawn and you open the door. And in your heart space, you find yourself. You find your younger self. Back when you were innocent. Back when you were free. What is your younger self doing right now? What is she playing with? What does the room look like? What are the colors that you see? In this room, the blinds are closed. So you walk up and you open them. This gold yellow light pierces through the window. And you can see things that you didn't see before in that room. You look at your younger self. And you see your own innocence. You see the truth. You're gonna put your arms around your younger self. And you're gonna hug your younger self. And as you embrace your younger self, you're gonna release anything that's tying you. Tell your younger self how proud you are of them. Tell them how strong they made you. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them that you're at peace. Release your younger self and start walking out of that house. And as you walk back through the tunnel, you see a green light. It keeps getting brighter and brighter with every step. You come out of the door and you see this green light in your heart space. And it is expanding. It's getting bigger and bigger. And then it's going up to your throat chakra. And you see this light blue color circulating in your throat. As this light continues to circulate, you begin to feel like your throat is blocked. So we go back down to the core. And the earth shoots up that white light back into your throat. As this white light turns more blue, you feel your throat space ease. not yet. This light keeps expanding. The sky blue light keeps expanding. Then it goes up into your third eye. In your third eye, all you can see is black. It's not open. So we go back down to the core. Back to the earth. And the earth shoots back white light going through your root chakra, through your sacral chakra, through your solar plexus, through your heart chakra, through your throat chakra, and then up into your third eye. And in your third eye, you start to see a light. You start walking towards this purple light. What do you see? You see what you have not been able to see before. Warnings. Messages. You see yourself standing in different situations where you couldn't see because you didn't know better. You couldn't see because your third eye was blocked. But now you can see. You can see the energy. You can see who not to trust. You can see the truth. You can see yourself standing in a space that's completely black. You can see light coming to surround you. And as this purple light surrounds you, you can feel it in your third eye. You are not in darkness, you are in the stars. You can see a light shooting from your tailbone back into the earth. And as this light continues to circulate in your third eye space, it shoots up into your crown. And this white light extends across the stars. And it takes you up into a small planet. As you land, you see your higher self standing across a river of water. You see a boat by the river. So you get on and you sail towards yourself. When you cross, you see your higher self waiting. You get off the boat. And you walk towards your higher self. What are they telling you? start to walk away from your higher self, taking all the messages they brought to you. You get back on the boat and you sail back, following your white light. This white cord takes you back to the earth. And you feel your feet planted on the ground. This time to bring awareness back into your body. And just take time to relax after that meditation. We're going to take a really quick 15-minute break, just so you guys can relax a little bit. So if you guys want to, I would recommend grabbing a short snack, something fast that you guys can just eat and just relax into your energy, or you could just sit there. It's totally cool too. Meditations during Aquarius moons are like pretty deep because you're just working with that energy. So after we come back, we're gonna start doing the spell work. I'm going to be uploading the workshop on my YouTube, so if you want to go back, see everything, it'll be there. gonna throw this away. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody 2 more minutes and then we're gonna start. Oh, is this a clay ball? Yeah, so this is actually the bottom of a pot plant. What's it called? Those things that you like put under so the water kind of doesn't like leak out. That's what this is. And they sell it at my Botanica, which is interesting. But it's used like as a tray for many different things for spell work, but also for like offerings and stuff for your ancestors. They also use that for that. I have like I did all thanks. I did all of the ingredients. I left it like as I sent the picture to everybody. I left it in the in there, so I am like literally prepped and ready to do this spell. And I also have my extra virgin olive oil. This is how much roasted Brussels sprouts I've made. I've used that much oil for roasted Brussels sprouts. No shame. No shame at all. So, before we start, I'm just gonna burn a little bit of Palo Santo. It always makes me laugh when I'm at events and stuff, and people always try to light Palo Santo with a lighter because it just doesn't. It doesn't work. Like Palo Santo needs to be on the fire for a little while to get like the smoke to be really good. And it's happened a couple of times where I've seen people do this, and it just does not make any sense to me. So, yes. Whew. So, for those who don't have the ingredients to this, because I'm not sure who joined that's not, that didn't have the, that didn't sign up originally for the workshop and didn't get the email about the ingredients list, you guys can completely go real quick. If you guys have these things, grab either a white candle or a black candle. We're going to be using a black candle today. Oh, I just realized I left this one over here. Okay, I'm going to be using specifically the black cat candle. We are tapping into Leo season and also Aquarius season by using this, because, listen, we need to work with the vibes. So I am using the black candle because the black cat candle specifically because cats, like in ancient times, are known for protection, and they literally guard the underworld. They're very much like good vibes. So we're tapping into the Leo season in that way as far as protection goes, which is why we're using this. In Egypt, cats were actually the guardians of the underworld, which was always one of my favorite things. One of my favorite facts is that. So I love cats, and I'm a Leo rising, so I vibes with cat energy. So we're going to use that to set our intentions today. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get started. We're going to grab, if you have Florida water, you can grab this as I say it, I guess. You can grab Florida water. If you need to go to the kitchen real quick and grab some of these, I picked, well, this is the thing when it comes to root work. Back in the day, they used what was available to do spell work. That's why a lot of the stuff that you see herbs-wise in hoodoo, which is, by the way, a practice, not a religion. Voodoo is a religion, hoodoo is a practice. The reason why you see a lot of different, like, kitchen herbs and stuff used in hoodoo is because that's the only thing that was available at the time. So that's what they could use. The key is using the elements and what is good for, what the ingredient is good for. So for this, if you want to run to your kitchen, we're going to be using garlic, black pepper, and we're also going to be using red pepper flakes. And those are amazing herbs for unhexing, uncrossing, exorcisms. Like, it's good to break up negative energy. It's like, listen, setting the intention, I don't want to have this, you're setting it off. But the thing about doing spell work during an Aquarius moon, specifically an eclipse, but during an Aquarius moon period, is that you need to be like setting the clearest intention as you can possibly can, because you can say, oh, I don't know, like, you could be like, I want Trump to get impeached, but then he gets impeached and then somebody else takes over that's either just like him or whatever. That's kind of what would happen because it didn't get done right. So what we're going to do is set the intention that we want, which is if we want for, if you want it to be like a social thing, like you want better friends or whatever, then say what type of friends you also want to come in. Like, that's the type of energy that you want to bring in. If you're going to uncross, you also want to set the intention for what you want as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to grab Florida water. And I kept it simple as far as picking what you wanted to cleanse it with. You can go wash your candle if you want to, but Florida water just does pretty much everything for me. So it's hoodoo, so that's what we're going to do. We use Florida water, and then we're just going to give this cat a really clean bath. The other thing to doing spell work like this that you need to know, especially for hoodoo, but everything really, is that as you are cleansing and as you, whatever you're touching, you need to be putting an intention in. And we're going to talk about this more when we get to the herbs and the spices and everything. You're also going to need, if you're using a 7-inch candle, you don't necessarily need these, but I am going to be using these. So 3-inch candles like this. I'm using 3 black ones and 3 white ones. If you just have white ones, use the white ones. Use whatever you have in hand, because it's really about the intention. But this is also Leo season, and so we need things to look real cute for our spell work. I'm being serious. Leo needs to show off. It needs to be like super magical candle work right now. So that's what we're going to be doing. So you're going to cleanse your 3. And then you're going to cleanse the black ones. I'm going to take a little bit more Flora water in my hand. Turn it up. Okay. So, as that dries, because that also needs to dry, you are going to take your cat. So you can either use this on this candle or you can do it on the smaller candles. But you can either take the cat and you're going to write your intentions on the cat itself. And that's what I'm going to do now. So you can pick, again, whatever else you want to do. This is an uncrossing spell. If you want to do an uncrossing spell for your personal life, that's totally fine. You can do that now. If you want to do it as far as society and everything, again, you can do that now. So the way I'm going to do is that I'm going to write down what I don't like right now. That's what I'm going to write. So, for example, I'm going to write, stop taking children away from their parents. And then you can go in and write other things that you might want to include on there. So what else am I going to say? I'm going to say equality for women is a big one for me. I'm also going to say end racism because that's also a big one for me. And I'm also going to say end white supremacy because there are layers to this. So, like I was saying earlier, this is really the time to go ham on your candle because, again, Mars is taking a huge play at creating friction and creating tension within the energy of today. So you want to use whatever it is that you're feeling to set the intention for what you're doing. So if you feel like super bad about a specific thing, put that in there. Uncross this shit. What else am I going to write? You could then start writing things that you want to see as well, not just the negative. Because again, it needs to be a balance of both. So better treatment of humans. That's literally what I'm going to write. Empathy. Because I feel like there's so many people that lack empathy, it's ridiculous. No, it's social empathy. I'm gonna write leaders who care. also writing peace and protection, and the bottom I'm gonna write if you're doing a 7-day candle, you just need to put the intention in the candle itself. But if you're doing a cat candle, you're gonna write all over this baby. Okay, I think I got everything. Let me see. I also put better supreme justice because literally the stuff that's happening in this world, crazy. Oh, wait, somebody asked. Oh yeah, you can write intentions on the glass. You can take a black marker and just write the intentions on the black candle as well. Alright. Anything else that we should add? Let me see. I'm gonna put spiritual growth because I feel like a lot of people need to heal. I'm gonna put healing, social healing, and I'm gonna put spiritual growth. Because I know there's some people that need that. Okay, so now that your cat looks like it has hieroglyphs in it, we are going to do these smaller ones. If you're not using the smaller ones, you could skip this step, but we are going to put in the white candles, we're going to put a lighter intention. So the positive intentions go here. On the black candles, we are going to do the things that we don't want. So the same thing, basically what we're creating here is a circular energy, is a field. It's like a force field energetically, and we're equally balancing out what we don't want to see and what we want to see so we can manifest that. So we're gonna start with the black ones first. So I'm gonna write impeach Trump because he gotta go. And I'm also gonna say and Trump administration because his vice president hates women, and I'm not about someone that automatically hates me, so. Okay. Then we're gonna do, what else? Go give children back. And then we're gonna do, okay, so that is one of them. Then we're doing, okay, and then the last one. Writing and spiritual oppression because that's a huge one. That usually gives a lot of people like the power to get away with inflicting stuff on people that does not need to be there. So for the positive ones, okay. We'll put equal rights. going to put for Puerto Rico to become a state because they've been going through it. Okay, don't laugh at me, but is it bad that I want to put aliens on one of these? Because Aquarius loves that shit, and I have Venus in Aquarius, and I'm too super into aliens, so I would love for aliens to come down and check some people. Yo, I'm gonna put that in here just to low-key be extra, and whatever. Okay, the last one. I'm gonna put woman president just because I would love to see a woman be president for once. I'm just saying. I'm also gonna put no sexual harassment. Okay, cool. So the next thing that we're going to do is that we're gonna like lather this guy up with oil, because we're gonna start putting the herbs on. So this is literally gonna get messy real quick, but it's fine. If it gets a little bit messy, I mean, you want it to be neat, but like hoodoo is not meant to be like super classically everything needs to be in a line type of thing. This is like the work that gets done in the back of a building because it needs to get done. Like it needs to happen. So I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna, with one hand, I'm gonna rub the oil on. And so olive oil is a multi-purpose oil. It's really good for like spell work like this. It's been used for a long time because of this as well. So as you're rubbing it on, you want to set your intention. So I'm gonna say, I set the intention to uncross all the bad and all the evil that has been done in this world. I set an intention to bring the right into light. I set the intention for justice, for peace, for growth. I set the intention for a better society. I set the intention for the life I want to live. And so you're going to take your, well, I'm going to start with ground pepper. And I'm going to take ground pepper and I'm going to put it on. And as you put it on, you're going to say, ground pepper, I activate you to uncross and to get rid of the evil that has been taking place in this world, in my life, in whatever it is that you want to set the intention for, but that's what you're going to do. All these herbs, all the spices that I'm going to be using are incredible for uncrossing work. The key into doing it is that you have to activate it. You have to say the intention. So you say, ground pepper, I activate you to X, Y, and Z. So you say exactly what you needed to do for you. And if you're rid, the energy has been blocking us. As a society, as a community, and as people. Then you're going to take the garlic. Oh, my garlic dried up a little bit. Hold on. So garlic, I activate you. To get rid of the evil that has been done to this world. Okay. To help us heal as a a society, as people. Okay. Press it here. And then you're going to take your red pepper. I'm going to say exactly the same thing. Red pepper, I activate you to get rid of the evil that's been taking place in this world, in my life. I ask that you aid in my request to get rid of that which energetically does not serve me. Okay. Woo, look at my hand. It's like so covered. Okay. So then that's the cat. So the other ones, so the black ones, you could just rub on your hands because you already have some on. I would say put a little bit more oil on just so make it stick a little bit more. But you're going to say the same thing as you're rubbing this on. So I activate you to help me get rid of this energy, this blockage that has been plaguing society, has been plaguing us as people, so that we may grow and be better. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to take the bottom of this and you're going to put it underneath the flame, and as it starts melting, you're going to place it down on the tray. And what that's going to do is that's going to seal it a little bit so it's not like moving around, it doesn't fall off or anything. You're like sealing it in. And I would skip one over just because you're going to put the white ones as well. And then you're going to take your white one, and even though your hand's like this dirty, if it's just like mine, you're going to put it in there, but you're going to start adding your lavender. Wait, before we do that, we got to get some more oil. And the reason why I included lavender, sage, and eucalyptus is because lavender is really good for happiness, for peace, and I wanted to include that. Again, we need, with Aquarius moons, you have to be specific. You have to put the intention specifically. So you can't just say, oh, all this bad stuff, take it away, because then you're not setting the intention for the positivity. So that's why I included that. Eucalyptus is amazing for healing. It's one of my favorite herbs to use for healing. I use it all the time. Sage is great for cleansing. I feel like everybody knows this. I probably don't even need to say it. And lavender is great for happiness, peace, and so that's what we're trying to attract and have. So that's why I'm putting it in there. So I'm gonna do the bottom, smelt it a little bit, and then boom. Alright. And then you're going to take whatever else left that you have. You're just going to pour it all over the tray. And while you're pouring it over, you're saying exactly the same thing. So, lavender, I activate you to bring peace, happiness, prosperity into this world, into society. Sage, I ask you to bring wisdom and leaders with wisdom to help move us into a new direction so that we can be peaceful as a society. Eucalyptus, I ask you to provide healing spaces. I activate you to provide healing spaces for those who have been wounded because of the things that we've done. I ask for social healing. I ask for harmony. I ask for spiritual growth. I ask for an energetic upgrade. I ask us to be better people, better human beings. I ask us to treat the world better. Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna quickly but cutely go wash my hands real quick before we light it. If you want to go do that as well, you can go ahead and do that, because while doing the work, we often get our hands dirty, but I want to have it clean for what we're going to do next. So I'll be right back and we're going to do that, because there's one more ingredient. Okay, sweet. So the last ingredient is optional, but it's an ingredient I work with a lot. It's super useful, and what it does is that oh wait, hold on, I just saw it. Do you put the herbs in all of the candles? I do, but only select ones. If you're using a 7-day candle, you can just take a smaller amount and put it at the top of the candle, and then you should be good. Sorry, I just saw your message now. So the last one is coffee. And so what coffee does, this is like a really old root work trick, but what coffee does is that it adds power to your like spell work. And so I'm gonna do it anti-clockwise though. So because coffee, like, think of it as just why do people drink coffee today? It's the same reason why it gets used in candle magic, because it adds a certain amount of power to spell work. It's like lighting a match. It's like, okay, let's get this moving, let's get this going. Which is why coffee is one of the things that you give to your ancestors. If you want to give it to your ancestors, this is something that you can use to just connect and give them power and help them heal as well, because coffee is just energetically super strong. I love working with it. I've been working with it for a really long time, and that's pretty much the last ingredient if you want to use it. You don't have to, but that's just me. That's what I'm going to use, because I work with it literally every time I do a spell and I want it to be like super powerful, super strong. I use coffee. So lastly, we're just going to reclaim and restate our intention for the spell work. So we already set the intention that we wanted on the candles, but we want to focus in on it. What I like to do is that I like to Reiki my candles. I do this all the time. It's very useful to add power into your candles. So I just like to concentrate the energy. I put two of my hands there. I'm not going to show you guys the symbols again because I can't. It's sworn to secrecy. But if you are a Reiki practitioner, feel free to Reiki your own candle work, or you could just state everything again. But I'm just going to Reiki it, and I'm going to do that in my head. And if you would like to at this time, you can ask for your ancestors to aid you in this. You can ask for a certain deity to aid you in this if you would like to. Sekhmet would probably be like a really good one to use because of the candle, being a cat and Leo season as well, because it is her season currently. So if you wanted to work with a specific deity, feel free to. But you know what? I think I am going to call Sekhmet for this. So. One of the really cool things about Sekhmet is that she is super, she has like a temper. You want to think of it like, I mean, it's a lioness basically. Definitely can't mess with a lioness because when she gets really angry, she just starts wars. So using her to do the right thing, it's a good energy as far as that. It's nice because it has its own like energy. I just love doing candle magic. It's one of my favorites. So then you are going to take a match or like something. I'm using this is like the end of a incense stick because I burn a lot of incense in the house, and I'm just gonna light each candle starting with. It's gonna take a minute. With the cats. Then you're going to do the same to the other candles. So the cat candle is going to take the longest to go down. It's going to take the longest to go down, but don't worry about that. The other ones will go, like before the night ends, they'll be done. But that's completely fine. Just as long as you give it space to do its thing. So you have a couple of options after you do this. You can do a short meditation in front of your candle, or you can just sit in it and just send it affirmation, send it power. Ooh, this thing is hot. Jesus, gonna burn my finger. Okay, let me try not to burn myself. Ooh, okay. It's like it's somebody's birthday in here. So you can sit in it, you can meditate with it, you can, if you want to, walk away from it. Well, you know, don't like leave the house or whatever with just the sun. But if you want to, just you can walk away from it and just go about your night and then come back and check on it. You can stay with it and just continue to feed it affirmations, continue to feed it your intention, because when you are doing candle magic, you want to continuously, like, especially if you're doing a 7-day candle, I have to check. Oh wait, somebody just asked me a question. Can this be done tomorrow? I had to work late and just tuned in. Yes, you can do it tomorrow. The video is going to be posted. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to be posted tonight on my YouTube, so you could just come back to it. That's totally cool. You can work with Aquarius. You can work with a moon energy 2.5 days between the time that it came in. But because the eclipse energy lasts for like a week to 2 weeks, like the energy of the eclipse, you can work with this up until like next week, if not the week after. That's what I would say. Just make sure that you're picking the moon, the intention based on the moon that it's in. So we're gonna go into Aries, and we're gonna go into Taurus. Then it's gonna be a Pisces, Aries, Taurus. So I would say if you're gonna do this, work on it on the Aries moon, because you want to channel that Mars, that fierceness energy. Pisces, not so much. Pisces moons are not good for doing crossing spell work at all. Don't do it. Don't try it. Don't do it. But Mars, Aries moons are really good for it. I wouldn't really say Taurus moons are good for it, just because I just wouldn't say it. Like Venus energy is not like I'm about to like go at war with you, even though Taurus has his horns. I wouldn't say that. I would still pick Gemini to do it, because you want to tap into the air energy. So either Aries moon or the Gemini moon that's coming up, because Gemini is really good. It's really good for prepping spells, but if you're tapping into the air energy, really good for that. Especially if you want to tap into that other twin. So you can do this later on if you want to. So again, you can sit on it, you can sit with it if you want to. If you don't, you already set your intention, you already put into it what you want to put into it. It's just doing this thing now. So yeah, that was basically the workshop. Thank you guys for coming. I'm really excited. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about it and everything. Like, send me notes and messages and all that stuff. If you guys have any questions, let me know now so I can answer them on the chat. But I will be having more workshops soon. I'm prepping some stuff. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, this was a lot of fun for me. I'm really excited because this is like my first online workshop that I've ever done. So I'm really, really excited to have done it and share the space with you guys, and have created this space to like release a lot of stuff with this eclipse energy. And yeah, so yeah, let me know if you guys have any more questions. Yeah, you're welcome. For sure, I'm definitely gonna try to do more workshops. I'm really getting called to teach and to share my knowledge with the world, which is why I started my YouTube. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for kind of probably the rest of my life, just teaching and like showing how to do things and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know if my girls came through. Is the rest of my oh wait. Oh, so they did come through. Okay, I'm just making sure the rest of the girls are there. Oh yeah, you guys are welcome for sure. Again, I want to do more of these. The next one I'm gonna do is probably gonna be on during Virgo season, because Leo season is supposed to be about fun times. I just really wanted to do this in this eclipse. This is the longest eclipse. The energy is super high, Mars is super high. But the next one is probably gonna be in September. And I say that because Virgo energy, the sun's gonna be in Virgo, is really good for healing work. So I want to do another healing workshop to just help release some of that, especially because heavy Mercurial ruled, and thoughts are gonna matter during that season. So I want to help with that as well. So I'm glad that you guys liked it. So yeah, so I'm going to go, but I really appreciate you guys, and yeah, I'm so excited. This is a lot of fun. I'm gonna let this go for like the rest of the night. Honestly, I'm probably gonna sleep at 2 in the morning, but I'm gonna let this go. Don't worry about it. If you need to put it out though, because you need to go to sleep or whatnot, make sure you snuff it out. And snuffing means that instead of like blowing it, and then you're blowing the intention away, that's what people say. Even though you could reset the intention, that's fine. You put like, I want to say like a cup or like a spoon, and then you put it over it so the air kind of like pulls it out of the candle. Especially if you have a feminine candle, it's the easiest way to do it. So yeah, so that's it. I'm so excited. It's like my first one. Okay, sweet. Send you guys so much love. Stay blessed. Thank you guys for doing this with me. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun. Bye. It'll be up. This is gonna take a while to upload, so wait, let me move this a little bit. So I'm gonna take the iPad. This iPad is like all the way over here. Yes, so I will definitely post this video so if you guys need to reference back to it. It's gonna be uploading for a while, I think. So bye guys.